Hey guys, welcome to Hurting Little Cows to the Glory of God. I am sitting in bed because I have a baby kind of sleeping on my lap area down there.
Funny.
And I was talking about if you could see my double chins or not. It's the day after Thanksgiving. Got some double chins going on. I did not do any turkey trot or anything yesterday.
No.
It was raining and gross here.
Yeah.
So we stayed inside yesterday. So anyway, if you want to talk about double chins, go ahead. This video. I was making this video because I am a mom to a bunch of kids, and I recently was asked this question, and I've been asked this question before, about how we just make our day-to-day life kind of be automatic, and how we just make sure that things are happening around the house. Do we do a to-do list? Do we do sorry, those have glare. Managers of their home. I've seen that before, and I've actually read the book, and I enjoyed some of the things in the book, but I am not a person who's good with timed schedules, and especially with my husband home. I love him. He's right here. He's not good at time schedules at all, and he's not good at reading a schedule. He would be so lost if I tried to have a really defined schedule like that, because he just doesn't work like that. And so I have some kids that are ADHD, so I need to help remind them what the next task is. But I also, okay, so for you who haven't been here before, this is what we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about our daily routine here at home right now. But if you haven't been here before, I'm Sarah. I'm married to Mark. You might see him in here in a little bit. I don't know. And we have 10 kids, 8 of them still at home right now. So at home we have 17 down to 6 months. And they keep me very busy. And we have done different things in the past. Since we've been married, my husband has worked multiple jobs that he worked during a regular work day. But he also worked a job where he worked 2 a.m. to noon-ish. And then he worked other jobs where he'd go in at 2 p.m. and not get home till 11 at night. And then he worked other jobs where he was gone from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So we've had kind of the gauntlet of different schedules in our life. But also, if you're a mom of many, you know that it depends on the children's needs at the time. And what might work for this 6-month season may not work for the next section of life, depending on activities outside the house or children's needs, maybe medical needs that are going on. So everything looks different. And for us, we have found that what works best is to make our day follow a routine that moves around our meal times. So for our family, mealtime is very important. We eat, my husband is home now. So I was saying that he had all these jobs. He is currently home. He's been home for the past 7 years because of a medical disability. And right now he is not safe to work. So he is home all the time. But we even did this when he wasn't home. We ate all of our meals together every day. Not with him when he was working, but me and the children. So there may be the odd day where, hey, you guys, you sit down and eat. I've got to finish packing this because we've got to get off to a medical appointment or something. But when I say that's rare, I'm saying less than once a month of any meal that I was not sitting down with the children. Since we started having kids, how everything has gone is mommy is at the table with them at every meal. Now that daddy's home, he's at the table too. But, and when he was working, we would move meals around his schedule. So if he had to go into, not his really early jobs, like at 2 a.m., we didn't get up with him. But if he had a normal job where he went to work at, let's say 7, he left the house, we would get up.
And I got up at 5:30, you guys were.
Okay. He's remembering when we got up, we would go have breakfast with him, or at least sit with him while he got himself ready, before he went to work in the morning. And then when he was working and he'd get home at 6 or 7, I might feed the kids before he got home, but we would have a snack at the table with him once he got home from work. And we think that that is something that has really gone by the wayside in all families nowadays, but especially Christian families, when you're trying to find times to teach your children about his word and to glorify him and how to walk out a Christian lifestyle on a daily basis. We feel it's really important to sit down with your kids at meals. We actually, I won't get into it too much in this video. You can see it in other videos, but we actually plan different activities at different meals. So, you can see our videos, but we make the meal times profitable.
Breakfast
So
is
we've done
lower,
different
lunch
things.
is-
Yeah, we've done different things at different times. So I remember, we were living at the house in Waldo, but we were living in this one house, and every night after supper, we would clear off the table and we would draw pictures from the book of Proverbs. I remember that was at that house. We might have done it at other places, but I specifically
didn't go
remember that
fishing,
house. We have had times where Bible memory is done at the kitchen table. So anyway,
Or reading
I'll
a
talk,
chapter
or yeah,
a
reading a
psalm
chapter of the Bible, listening to a certain podcast or like teaching at a meal. So anyway, we've done different things, but we feel that mealtime is very, very important. And so we plan out mealtime that we will all be sitting at the table, and almost every day mealtime is about the same time. So we sit down for the meal at, let's say our supper right now is somewhere between 5 and 5:30. And that is going to be a little more rigid once it comes wintertime, because we're inside and I can start a meal earlier. It gets a little more lax in the summertime because, we're outside and we can still be outside till later, and I'll suddenly be like, oh, it's 4:30. We should go make supper. That happens for me.
Meal times are like sensory like memory builders.
Trying to get you.
Sensory memory builder stuff. Like you're seeing food, you're seeing people, you're seeing what's going on. You're tasting food, you're touching things, and you're like you're fully engaged, I guess. And then you make memories that way, and then the memories are with those people that you sit around the table with on a regular basis. Like those bonds are real.
We're going to have a whole video on mealtime before we even get to routines.
Sorry, okay.
No, it's okay.
I'm gonna eat my bread.
No, I was just
I
going to
love
say,
bread.
in our families, it was very different. Mark, I think, really, really enjoys mealtime because in his
now.
family,
I do now. I didn't know what it was before, I don't think.
right. So in Mark's family, it was more of would you say more of like a fend for yourself or a...
No, I really don't remember is the thing. I'm sure we sat down and had meals sometimes, but I don't remember like your family sitting around for an hour and a half talking and going through the whole day and stuff like that. I feel like I'm kind of a utilitarian myself. Like, I am here to eat.
Then I'm going to get up.
But we were all in different sports and different school. I mean, the same schools, but different places in school.
Their ages were different enough that they would be in different activities.
Mm-hmm.
Where growing up, my sister and I, we were only a year apart. We were the only two kids in the household. And so a lot of our things we were doing together, like especially before high school. So
We were recording the eating.
Okay. He's eating on the bed, not at the kitchen table. What are you doing? So anyway.
I'm 50 years old. I'll do what I want.
It's also bedtime. All the kids are in bed. But anyway, when I was a kid, we ate together almost every meal every dinner. My parents both worked, and my sister and I were both in public school. So we would eat breakfast. But I remember sometimes eating breakfast at the breakfast table, like at the table with my dad or my sister. Like it kind of just happened on how people were getting ready in the morning. But we ate dinner together a lot of nights. I have lots of memories of my family eating meals together. That was a very big thing in our family. And that was actually a point of hardship, I would say, when Mark and I first started dating, because he didn't understand if he called me. And I was like, oh, we're just sitting down for dinner. That if he called back within an hour, I would be like, we're still at dinner. And my parents were like, why is he calling? Of course we're still eating dinner, because we sat at the table and we talked and we would discuss our day. We would discuss what the week was going to look like. We would talk about all kinds of things. But my family was very close growing up, and that was a very big deal to us. We also regularly, my sister and I would go visit my grandparents in the summer, and we would sit at the table with them for each meal. Like it wasn't just go eat when you want to. We sat down for meals together and ate. And so mealtime was a big deal for my whole life before Mark and I got married. So it was a big deal for us from the time that we got married. Like I remember in our first house sitting together at the table with Nathaniel. So if you haven't been here before, Nathaniel's my stepson. He was 6 when Mark and I got married, but we would sit together at the table and have our meals. So we've been doing that.
Which was weird for me.
Ever. Yeah. For him, that was strange. But we do occasionally eat a meal in front of the TV, but it's a very special, like, we're going to have pizza and a movie. It's a big deal. It's not just a, hey, everyone's sitting in the living room. Right?
It was a big month or two.
So, yeah. So anyway, meals are very much the center of our routine. Like everything goes around that. And then the other constant in our routine is Bible time. And so, like I said, these things these things happen, let's say 95% of the time. There's of course the time where, oh, we need to get out the door. Like we live about an hour and a half from any of our like specialist appointments. So like Mark has specialists because of his brain issues. Josiah and his seizures, he has specialists. I'm actually getting seen right now that I might have to make a trip for a specialist. So, if we have to leave, if we have to leave at 7 a.m, I make muffins the night before. We eat them in the car on the way. But I'm talking about 95% of the time we have breakfast and then we do Bible. I'll go through our schedule in a minute. We do Bible and then we do lunch and then we do supper. Those are our markers of the day. And the only thing that really changes that is Sundays we don't do Bible because we're at church with our church family doing Bible there. And what was I going to say? Sometimes Saturday gets a little messed up in Bible time, sometimes gets moved because we are doing a bunch of stuff to get ready for Sunday morning. So, but this is our majority of the time. This is how our day happens. Yeah. So, and this is how it happens right now. Like I said at the start of the video, different seasons of life, different things happen. The normal right now. Just helping people figure out the normal right now for us. So
we used
at
to do
home,
Bible after lunch. We used to do Bible.
Oh yeah, we've done Bible first thing in the morning at the table.
Morning, yeah.
We've done it at night before bed.
Yeah,
that had moved around depending on his schedule. But now that he's home, and if you haven't followed along, Mark has a brain disorder. I don't know what you want to call it, where he is more able to teach in the morning.
Yeah.
In the evenings, he starts to crash.
Yeah.
And so he has...
Although this morning I didn't quite make it.
We don't know what he has because they thought he had dystonia, but they're now calling it functional movement disorder.
Functional neurological disorder.
Sorry, functional neurological disorder.
That encapsulates
So we don't know exactly what he has. So we call them episodes or he's crashing. But so if you hear me saying that, that's what we mean is he's slowing down and sometimes can't speak, can't communicate what he wants to. So we do Bible in the morning.
Yep, works best.
That season in life. When he used to work like a regular 9-to-5 job, we would do supper and then we'd eat, like we'd do Bible after that. So whatever works for your family, this just works for us right now. At home, we have a 17-year-old. She is graduated from high school. We homeschool all of the kids, but she's graduated. We have a 17-year-old girl, 14-year-old boy, 12-year-old boy. He's our one with seizures. That just might play into why things get changed in our day. 9-year-old girl, 7-year-old boy, 5-year-old boy, 3-year-old boy, 6-month-old boy.
6-month-year-old.
So that's what we have at home. So how our days go right now, and none of this is specifically, it's probably written down somewhere because I write lists all the time. I don't follow them, but I write lists all the time. I am the type of person who does not do well on a timed schedule because I feel like if I do not start something exactly on time, I have failed. I am very, very hard on myself when it comes to things like that. I shouldn't be that hard on myself, but that's how it is. I can't overcome it. And so because I don't need to overcome it, it's not a sin issue that I'm dealing with. I have changed how I think. And so we do a routine. I also do not make to-do lists. I found it funny the other day. I heard someone talking about making a to-da list. Like, ta-da, I did this, and you write down what you did. I don't feel the need to do that either. But I do not do well if I have a to-do list written up and I'm not able to finish it. Again, I feel like I failed, even though I'm the one who wrote the to-do list. So I might have an idea of like, hey, I'd like to get this done today, but I don't have a list of 10 things. I have one item. Is that fair to say?
Yep.
And sometimes it doesn't get done, and it has to be okay.
Okay.
So right now, we allow the kids to get out of bed at 6:30. They all wake up before 6:30, but we have found that if we let them just get up when they wake up, some of them will hear the noise of others and wake up when they are not ready. Or kids will not really be ready to get out of bed, but they just know that they're allowed out of bed, so they'll do that. So in our house, we have the kids stay in bed till 6:30. They, some look out the window. We have one who just kind of sings to himself, but they are in their bed till 6:30. And then we hear them all clumping down the hall to our bedroom at 6:30.
Where they all pile on our bed.
Where they all pile on our bed. So we have a large king-size bed, and depending on the 6-month-old who's going through a stage of some nights he's not sleeping really great right now. If he's still asleep, I stay in bed with him because he co-sleeps, and sometimes he's kind of sleeping on me. So I will lay here in bed with him laying on me, and the kids all kind of pile around us and sing to us, tell us stories, tell us dreams they had through the night, ask us what's going on for the day, ask me about 37 times what we're having for breakfast, even though I just answered the other person. All that happens here on our bed. And so either then Mark or we have a bathroom here in our bedroom. There's also another bathroom in the house. And so people will wander in to use the bathroom and get dressed. At some point, Mark and I will get up and get dressed in that. And then usually I will stay in the room and dress those who I need to dress or need help in some way. And Mark will go out and just kind of watch children who are looking at books, maybe playing with blocks. They're kind of getting themselves dressed at that point in the morning.
Getting World Watch going.
Our 14-year-old son has taken it upon himself to make the coffee. He will occasionally have a younger person help him to make Daddy's coffee. Right now, yeah, the 14-year-old drinks coffee, and Daddy and I drink coffee. But I haven't been drinking enough coffee to make myself my own cup. So usually Mark and I share a cup, and then we pour a second cup later on. So anyway, the 14-year-old does that. So then I'm in the room getting my 6-month-old, my 3-year-old dressed, and then kind of supervising the 5-year-old, because if he's not supervised, he just takes a long time to do everything.
Maybe half an hour later.
He's just the child who is very slow and deliberate on everything. Even if he's not, like, yes, he's a child and he disobeys, and there are times that he's purposefully not doing something.
But he has a processing disorder.
But when even if he wants to do it, he's still slower than the average child doing it. Yeah, so I stay in here to remind him, like, hey, let's put on the pants now. Because he also, it's almost hard because it's one of those, I try to like figure out, do I want to stay in here or do I want to go out? Because if I'm in here, he has someone to talk to, and that can sometimes take longer because certain children in my house, it's not just him, forget how to work and talk at the same time. So
it's a skill you
everyone's
over time,
so everyone's getting ready first thing in the morning, and we then go out to the kitchen where we make breakfast. Right now we are trying to make very simple breakfast where I don't have to be involved, but because my 17-year-old, when you're watching this, is just a couple days after my 17-year-old
and 5-year-old have been serving breakfast.
What?
The 3-year-old and 5-year-old have been serving breakfast lately.
Yeah.
I think I put up a video somewhere, maybe a short or
So our 17-year-old just had surgery, and so we've moved to have it. She used to help us with stuff. Not that she really helped a lot with this, but she used to, at some point she helped make breakfast. What she currently does,
been through multiple children.
What she currently does is when she wakes up in the morning, she stays in her room, and she does her own Bible time and prayer time. She has the opportunity to do that because her help is not necessarily needed most mornings, but she does know that if we have to get out the door early or there's some special event during the day, she knows that I might ask for her help and she needs to willingly come and help me, because that time is not a promised time to her of having her own time. It works for her most days, but she also knows sometimes that gets
part of a family.
yeah, sometimes that gets changed up if we have a seizure in the morning. So Josiah, if he has a seizure in the morning, we are slower to get things done because we need someone to kind of sit with him. He's not so stable on his feet after having a seizure, so we need someone to sit with him during that time. So anyway, we've changed up our breakfast routine recently, where the 3-year-old and 5-year-old have been helping serve breakfast. Someone just watches to make sure that they're doing it. But we've been serving yogurt with berries and granola for breakfast. They both know how to do that. And then the other breakfast that's going to be our mainstay right now is toast, because I can make toast the day before. So the 9-year-old would be in charge of warming up, like toasting bread and putting toppings on for people, and then eating that with a hard-boiled egg. Mm-hmm. So we do that, and then all go to the breakfast table together. We play a geography game called Global at the table, where everyone guesses a country, and we try to find the mystery country of the day, and we learn a little bit about it. We make that time a very profitable time for the whole family, and sometimes Global gets interrupted. We usually still figure out what this country is, but sometimes we don't look up information about the country because we may have a current event or something that we want to talk about at the table. So after we do breakfast, at this point everyone's dressed. What?
Did you say we watch World Watch?
Oh no. Before breakfast, we watch World Watch, which is I'll try to put a link. I'll try to have my husband put a link down here.
We need to do the link because if somebody actually signed up, then we would get it for free. We have it a couple of months free or something.
Right.
We're enjoying it, but...
So World Watch it's made for Christian, mostly homeschoolers. Some private schools use it. Mm-hmm. And it is a 10-minute news broadcast that has everything from current events and how to think of them through a Christian worldview. And it also has fun stories about a Guinness Book of World Records thing, or some weird science, or why words are used a certain way. So anyway, we usually watch that before breakfast. So if there's something extremely interesting on there, our time of our geography might be shortened so that we can talk about that world event. Yeah. Anyway, after breakfast, we move from the table to doing our after meal chores. So our 14-year-old son washes the dishes. Our 7-year-old son puts away any breakfast food that's left out and cleans off the table, washes the table. Our 3-year-old, we just had birthdays. Our 3-year-old collects the small trash cans in the house and puts them to the takes them and dumps them in the big trash can, so that the bathroom trashes are emptied every day. And then our 5-year-old collects all the laundry in the house so that it can get washed. The 9-year-old is in charge of washing all the laundry. Again, none of these things, we are a family, everybody works together. If the 5-year-old is having a hard day, he didn't sleep well or something, I might just go grab the laundry. The 9-year-old is usually in charge of laundry, but if daddy notices the laundry's not done, he'll go throw laundry in.
Or if she's cooking something. Or if she's been wanting to cook things lately. So
she loves to cook.
If she wants to cook something, I'll just do the laundry.
So it's not hard and fast rules that she has to do that. It's just, this is what a normal day looks like for us. She is the person who normally would do the laundry. And it's nice to know who knows how to do the job. This was more important when Mark was working. But it's nice to know who can do the job because daddy knows who to ask. Because when dad is off at work all day, he doesn't always know exactly which kids are capable of the task. Mm-hmm. Is this kid, big enough to put away the dishes? Do they know where all the dishes go? But if it's a task that he knows is normally assigned to that child, he can say, hey, Uriah, go put the dishes away because you know how to do this thing.
So
does
when
that make
you say
sense?
Do laundry, though, you what you mean is Malachi has brought the laundry to the laundry room. It's sitting right there at the washer. She fills the washer, open the washer, pushes the button, closes the lid, pushes the button.
Right.
And then if there's something done in the washer, she would then throw that in the dryer, which is sitting right next to it, and then close the door and turn it on. We're not talking about like the folding laundry. Everybody does that together. We have folding.
Yeah, that's a different party. Well, different part of the
all
day.
she's doing is filling a washing machine and pushing a button.
And she is okay. So part of all of this, making this automatic, is my mommy brain. Even before Mark dealt with all his issues, my mommy brain only has so much brain access time. And I don't want to be thinking all the time of who to assign to what chores. So we keep the same chores for a long period of time until people are ready to move up to the next thing. So maybe a year or two. So Abigail has recently started the laundry chores. And so she's probably going to have that for a year or two, because we will wait until the next child is capable of taking on that chore.
Right.
Does that make sense?
I think Uriah could do it, but he needs to get a little taller to work with the machine well.
Abigail, who does the laundry right now, she is very thoughtful. And so there may be a day where she doesn't think about laundry, but she's not the one I would have to remind every day to do laundry.
Right.
She could, so that's part of it is, it's okay.
Because laundry is in a separate room. Like, if you
don't
forget
walk
to do
by
the
it.
dishes, you walk by it when you're cooking, when you're eating, when you're anywhere in the kitchen.
Hold on, I need Daddy to take the camera.
Okay.
Also, for right now, laundry, like in the summer, it's almost easier to remember laundry because we have to go in there for our shoes and stuff. But in the winter, we don't go out as much as a family. And so we don't need to go into the laundry room where the shoes and stuff are on a day that we're home all day.
Unless you're getting a bucket of oats or something out of the laundry room, because you also have some storage there.
But then you're usually in the middle of something.
Oh, yeah.
So, sorry, I've got a fussy baby. But anyway, so we all do our after meal chores. I usually am in the living room feeding this baby. Feeding this baby, and I'm directing people. So, hey, 3-year-old Gideon, can you go get the trash cans? Because he's 3. He doesn't remember to do it. Something I got to remind him to do. But that's the time to do that.
He can do it by himself. He does a good job with it.
He needs to be reminded. Sorry, I got to sit up. That's also the time where our 9-year-old does some of his therapy stuff. You got it? The 9-year-old does some of his therapy stuff because sorry, not the 9-year-old, 12-year-old. He has certain therapies he has to do every day. They are a lot of work for him. It's crawling. If you've watched our channel before, it's crawling, and that's a lot of work. And so he has a pass on some of our regular chores because he has to do that work. It's hard work for his body. You don't need the camera. He does. He likes to sweep the floor. Here, you can have this. Is that okay? So what's the next? You don't need to eat it.
Bible for lunch.
Oh yeah, okay. So we do
like after meal chores.
After meal chores, and then we go to the living room to do Bible. Our family Bible time, we spend about an hour or an hour and a half doing Bible. That's not for everybody. Like not every family's going to do it that way. That's just how we do it. And so we we start Bible around 8:30 to 9 o'clock, depending on the day. Like I said, this is a routine. This isn't set in stone, like time-wise. And on Mondays, we tend to have more morning chores because we do not do chores over the weekend, like over Sunday. And so Monday mornings, dishes, there's a lot more. We have more clothes to get together, that type of thing. So it might be more like 9 o'clock on a Monday, might be more like 8:30 most days, which is totally fine. We sit down and do our Bible time till we are done. And then the next thing in the routine is actually just kind of a buffer zone before lunch, because up until now, lunch has been the 17-year-old's chore, because it gave me time to do school with the rest of the kids during that time. But because of her surgery, and because Bible time has just gotten longer, I needed to put a buffer thing in there. So now I make lunch during that time. And on nice days, kids go outside from the time Bible is done until lunch is ready. But the days that we're stuck inside is actually going to be game time, because I can decide what game we're going to play depending on how much time we have. If we have just a short time, I can continue the routine and still have a game time, but maybe it's only 10 or 15 minutes. Or maybe we're going to have, you know, an hour-long game because that's the time we have, and either of those is fine. Then we sit down and do lunchtime. Lunchtime includes math time. We do bedtime math, which just is questions for all different levels on each day of the year. So we do that as a family. I know you woke up, you're so sad. And then we go to quiet time. We have found that quiet time is very important in our house for the kids that need to nap, which is this guy. Unfortunately, he is not in the exact same schedule as the 3-year-old, but the 3-year-old still needs a nap every day. But we have the other children take a rest, like take a quiet time to get just a time to learn. I know. A time to learn how to do something by themselves. So they can look at books, they can do a puzzle, they can draw a picture. There's like some certain toys in the closet that can be used during that time, but it's a time that they're not playing a game with somebody else. They are able to do the things that they find interesting. So like my one son really enjoys snap circuits. He does those during that time. Maybe Legos, like the big kid Legos. We keep like Mega Blocks in the living room, but like the big kid Legos, things that they want to do that are whatever they can do that would keep themselves quiet. It's a good recharge time for everybody. So after I get the 3-year-old to sleep, we then come back together, and that's when we do school time. So during our school time, we tend to all be together. Maybe everybody has their math books out and they're coming to me with questions and I'm just sitting in a central place. Or maybe we are doing a read aloud. Maybe we are learning a science concept together. That is a totally separate video, but that is our school time after lunch. And then around 4 o'clock, we start supper. Oh, I forgot to say, after lunch, we do have some after lunch chores that get done. Abigail washes dishes. She's the 9-year-old. Laundry gets switched around at that point if we're still doing laundry. And then I just decided to add recently, because we have Naomi out of commission now. There's going to be the 14-year-old and the 7-year-old will be working in the kitchen doing some meal prep. That might be just cutting carrot sticks to have in the fridge for snacks. Today it was my 14-year-old making bread, and it was my 7-year-old like checking beans that were going into the Instant Pot. So whatever kind of work needs to be done for a future occasion gets done right after lunch. So then, like I said, we have our quiet time, and then we have our let's not eat that. We have our quiet time.
I'll eat your phone.
I'll eat anything. We have our quiet time, and then we have our school time. Around 4 o'clock, we have someone go to the kitchen and start working on whatever supper is that hasn't been done before. And the baby's going to help with the camera. And then I will usually at that point do a read aloud. We do a lot of read alouds in the family, whether it be missionary biographies, just books that have been talked to, like a chapter book. Sometimes it's just picture books that we do with the kids. We found some really good picture books. Be looking for our library haul video this time, because I found some really good ones this time that I happened to just find on the shelf.
And we just finished Life of Fred.
Oh, and we just finished Life of Fred Butterflies, if you've heard me talk about it. And we just finished a really good chapter book called A Place to Hang the Moon. But anyway, around 4, I do a read aloud, and that's usually when we do a folding party. If I am the one making supper, we those who are folding laundry get to listen to Adventures in Odyssey, which is an audio drama, Christian audio drama. And so it just depends on the day and what we are doing at that point, right? Oh, you decided to spit up for the camera.
Oh, no.
Lovely.
Ew.
I'm about to put him in his pajamas, so that's why I'm using him shirt, not because I'm just a gross person. I'm not a gross pig.
Gross person.
So, we will do a read aloud possibly, or whatever. They fold laundry. Everyone together folds laundry, and then everyone takes laundry to the separate places. I very, very rarely am folding laundry because I'm either feeding a baby or I'm doing the read aloud or whatever. The 17-year-old did read aloud today. So then we eat supper. Again, all of us at the table. We sometimes have something we're going through. Like right now we're going through a book that I got at the library called Wonders of the World. Talks about different places like the Grand Canyon and stuff. But sometimes we don't have anything. And my mom is usually here for supper. And so sometimes it's just time to talk to Grandma.
We did the orchestra book though. That was fun.
Oh yeah, we did the orchestra book for supper one time, for months, where we learned about different instruments and then we learned about different composers.
We did the hymns.
And we learned about hymns and the stories behind that. We've done different things. But right now we don't currently have something except for the library book that I picked up. And then so we all eat supper together. After supper, we have somebody who washes dishes, which we're trying to figure that out right now because that was normally the 17-year-old. It sounds like she does like a ton during the day. She really has a lot of free time usually. It just, when I'm mentioning everyone's chores, we're in a season of switching right now because she just had surgery. And it's Thanksgiving week, so everything's weird. But after the meal, I tend to help the little ones get dressed, but Mark does that sometimes. It kind of depends on the needs of the evening. And someone is out kind of watching children, maybe reading them picture books, maybe just making sure that they're not getting crazy.
Maybe singing.
Oh yeah, singing. A lot of times we'll have music on, like Sovereign Grace or the Gettys.
Or Redeemed Quartet.
Or Redeemed Quartet is our new favorite. They are a group of 4 guys who sing hymns and things like that, so check them out. But anyway, we'll listen to them. We'll have music on and people will be singing in the living room. We try not to let them get too crazy with dancing around and everything. And then around 6:30 we will sometime between 6 and 6:30 we'll all gather in the living room, and depending how early it is, we might read a book for a little while, and then between 6:30 and 7 we pray with all the kids, and the 12 and unders all go to their room for bed.
No, that being said, we're not praying from 6:30 to 7.
No. Sometime between 6:30 and 7 we pray. And we pray as a family for about 15 minutes, depending. We go through, everybody has a turn to pray. And after that's done, we all say our good nights and they head off to bed. The 12 and under, not this guy, but the others, all go to the boys' room. So in 12 and under, we only have 1 girl. Only 2 girls in the house, 1 17, then the other one. So all the 12 and under go to the boys' room and they listen to an audio drama while they're allowed to work on puzzles and do a quiet thing in there. And then from there, they go to sleep. They are asleep. I'm checking the baby monitor. And then the 14-year-old gets to stay up until 8. And the 17-year-old stays up till 8:30. When I say they stay up till that, they're staying up with us, and then they get to go to their room. They might read a book or whatever, but that's what it is. I think the 14-year-old he has like audio he can listen to, like a sermon or something, and that turns off at 10. So he has plenty of time to get to bed. And yeah, that's how we run our day. So it's very much based on our meal times. And in that, if we don't get to folding that day, it just gets pushed to the next day. We just put the laundry baskets in a corner and we'll fold them the next day. So if game time doesn't happen because we do Bible right up till lunch, then we just do lunch. If the read aloud doesn't happen that day, we read aloud the next day. We are very much eclectic homeschoolers, and we don't do, like, we teach the 180 days we're supposed to teach, but we don't worry that any of our book work takes the 180 days. So if we have a math curriculum, I'm not trying to finish it by a certain day in June. We just continue the math curriculum until it's done. Yep. And if it takes 3 days to do a lesson because the child just needs that much extra work on the lesson, that's fine. If they do 4 lessons in a day, that's fine too. And they just work at their own pace. So some kids might take longer than a year to work through the math curriculum, 1-year program, and some might take less than a year. And it's okay. It just works out. But we're not rigid we need to make sure that we have 4 hours of school a day that looks like we finished these 5 subjects. Sometimes we do science and we're really interested in science and we just do science all day. So that might look a little different for other families. But if you have questions about our routines, my husband's arm going to fall off because I'm making him hold the camera in a weird place. But if you have questions about our routines or how we make that happen, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to answer more questions. And I hope that helps you out, to just be able to think through what could we base our day around? What are the necessities in our day? And like, what do we need to see done? Because in our household, we really need to keep up with dishes. We only have so many dishes, and we don't have a dishwasher. So it's important that the dishes get done. But if we get a couple days behind on laundry, we have enough laundry to make that happen. So just figure out what is the necessaries for your day. So hope that helps. We'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. Bye.